Westminster for another episode of Saving Time. This week is all about saving time. This is a beautiful recipe for a pasta dish. Everybody loves pasta. So get ready. I mean, this is nice. It uses up some veggies that you've got, fresh. And it really, I'm using mushroom and zucchini today, but let's talk about other things that we could be throwing in as we go along. This is so easy, nice kind of Alfredo-based sauce. It's really tasty. Everyone's going to love it. These zucchinis, look at this thing, okay? This is big. Like, I could be like working on my physique here with this. This is graceful gardeners. What a zucchini, are you kidding me, right? This thing is huge. It's going to take out my side, it's so big. Set that there. I have more. Look at these. Like, we could be making pasta for the entire town at this rate. Look at that, right? It's got a smile. And I've got this butternut squash here, same graceful gardener. Beautiful food. Look at these. Like, I've got like probably 50 pounds of zucchini here. Don't need that much for our recipe. This is so easy. You're going to love it. All of the things that I bought at Zehrs this week. They're always happy to help us here at Saving Time. Donate. The mushrooms at Zehrs this week are on 2 for $5. I got the sliced ones because it'll save me a little bit of time. And any pasta is good. I wouldn't do like a penne or anything too heavy. You want it to be able to hold the sauce. So if you go too heavy, it's not going to hold the sauce well. So I went for silly, but because it's also fun to say, silly. So let's get busy and see how fast we can cook this meal because it's pretty quick. I've got one nice big clove of garlic. I think in the recipe I say 3 to 4 cloves. This is huge. I'm happy with that alone. I bought a red onion because it's going to look nice, and I was just buying one. I didn't have a bag of onions on hand this week. If you've got yellow storage onions or a white onion, any kind of onion, all you need is one good onion. I just thought if I'm buying one, I might as well get the pretty red one. I've got a pot of water boiling already, and actually, you know what, we're good to go, so let's just get busy and get on it. That water's boiling, and I've salted it already. I've got my handy spoon here. We're going to dump the whole box in, so that's a pound. And that's pretty generous. I mean, that's what I usually do for my family, and I know I've told you I've got a lot of fellas at home, so they tend to eat a lot, but I think if we looked at the box, it would probably say it will serve 5. I don't know, 4 to 5. I'd use more if I had 6. This is a giant pot for this, but I want to use this one for our sauce, so ignore that. You don't need such a big pot. And in it goes. There we go. It's a bit of a shame. Unnecessary. Okay. Let's get busy. So that's just going to go. I'll put my spoon back on top. And every now and again, I'll try to remember to give it a little push around. Maybe I will right now. Oh, shoot. Haha. I lost it. There we go. Haha. But it didn't all the way go in. Thank heaven. I didn't just stick my hand in the pot of boiling water, by the way. I'm fine. It probably looked like that, but I didn't. Okay, we're going to get going with some oil. Put a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil or whatever oil you've got on hand. I have got the dropsies today. We'll get that under control. I figure I've got, that's a good solid 2 tablespoons. Okay, we're just going to set that over medium-low heat. Chop up or mince your garlic. I didn't bring my little rocker today, so I'll just chop. And watch those fingers. I better be careful. My work here so far does not bode well for my fingers and knives. And I truly did not stick my hand in a pot of boiling water. The spoon kind of fell so that it was, you know, like that in the hot. I wasn't that brave. I don't have that like special skills for boiling water or anything like that. Yikes, doesn't that You know when you see people do those things like swallow fire and all that kind of stuff? Wow, it worries me. It makes my stomach feel a little sick to watch stuff like that because it's just wrong. How do you find out you have that skill? Right? You got the stickiness from the garlic on my fingers. Get rid of that. This is coming up fantastic, so I'm going to give it a little stir. When I reach down into that pot, I know exactly how short I am. I'm just going to turn it down slightly. Okay, and now our onion. I think the onion was probably like $1.99 a pound or something like that. I got the 2 packs of mushrooms, this nice big onion, and the box of pasta for $7. So, I mean, couldn't have been much. There we go. And the pasta is just over $1, so this must have also been right around $1. And I already had some cream on hand, just like 10% cream, and that's what I'm going to use. If you have some 10% cream, that's what I would suggest. I wouldn't go with like I wouldn't go less than 5%. This is your pasta sauce, okay? So if all you've got is 2% milk, don't try to make a pasta sauce out of it. It's not going to have enough flavor. You need some fat. So you could truly, if this is what you have, you could use evaporated milk, a couple of cans of evaporated milk if that's easier for you. That just goes and goes. There. I'm turning it down a little bit more again. I'm suspicious. Okay, this, we're going to cut it up relatively small. I just thought the red would look nice in our pasta sauce, so. Wow. So far so good with the tears. And this is, before I forget to say, I'm not going to be here next week. I'm taking a little tiny vacation for the weekend and leaving on Friday, so I won't be doing an episode next Friday. And the week after that, we're back with the Headwaters Food and Farming Alliance, so it'll be on the Wednesday, which is the 27th. So after today, we won't be back until the 27th. And this is a great time to remind you to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell, and then you'll know when a new video comes up, and you won't need me to tell you, or you won't need to try to remember. That's looking fantastic. There we go, and now we'll do the other one, and then get them in that oil. I might actually put this much into my pan now. Hot dog. There we go. We'll give them a little push. Holy mackerel. I'm going to set this here for a second. It's way too hot. I don't know why it's so hot. It's only been on for a second, and I'm going to add some butter. Oh. Sheesh, she's sizzling. I don't think I had it on the heat for long. The stove runs hot. As it should. We'll add a little bit of butter. That's probably about 2 tablespoons. And calm it down. And anyway, butter's just going to make it taste better. So, no harm. There we go. There we go. That's all corrected. That can go back there. Okay. That one's okay. We'll finish slicing our onion now. That was exciting. Hit the pan and got so wound up. I always find if I'm going to add something, I wouldn't add oil at that point. I think it would just disappear on us, and also I don't want to keep adding oil to the food. Whereas I'm perfectly comfortable with adding as much butter as I need. It's just going to add nice flavor, so what harm in that? And same thing, just chopping this up nice and small. I don't want big bites of onion in the sauce. And there. Okay. And we'll add this to our pot now. There we go. A little bit of onion in my eye. There. Got it. My garlic turned dark, but what am I going to do? It happened in a heartbeat, right? It happened in a heartbeat. And I'm just going to push my pasta around again. Make sure it's, I'm just doing that. Holy dynamite. This spoon is barely long enough. That's the problem. This is another one of those episodes, isn't it? We can get all that out of the way. Okay, pasta's going great. We've got our onions and garlic in the pot. Moving along, I'm turning it right down. Next up is our mushrooms and zucchini. These mushrooms are already sliced, but I'm going to cut them a little bit further, not much. Just the ones that look really big. And actually, they're pretty thin, so I don't think I'll even worry. I'm not going to worry. They'll disappear completely if I do them further. My fingers are a little bit red from the onion. They're a little bit. They probably, at one time or another, made a dye out of the onion skins. These things, isn't that interesting? We waste so much food now, don't we? Like, think about that. Holy mackerel. Forget throwing it in the garbage. I'm always going on about the compost, but I mean, even that, we're wasting. There. There we go, that's done. Just gonna push that around a little bit. Oh, it's coming up nice, really nice. And up, stay, that thing. Holy mackerel, I'm onto it. Turning it up a little. The mushrooms are going to go in at the same time as the zucchini, so I want to get that going. You know what? Like, honestly, this is like we are cruising. That's got to be, it's at least 5 pounds. Like, we don't need to use this whole thing. I think that whatever I have left from this is going to have to become zucchini muffins. Because, and why wouldn't it, right? I'm just going to get that little last bit of onion over there. Sheesh. So for the zucchini, we're going to make small dice. So let's start by cutting coins that are, what's that, is probably about 1/2 inch thick. And just imagine if you had a normal large zucchini. So I'm going to say like maybe 1/3 to 1/2 of this giant one. Look at how nice this is. Can you imagine? Like, here we go. Wow. Somebody did a good job. Sheesh. Look at that. There's no way I can use all of this. I'm going to go one more slice and then say I've got muffins in the future. And isn't that fantastic? That looks good, that looks good, that looks good. I'm so suspicious of the stove behind me. Okay, now, we're just, I'm thinking, you know, decent sized piece. These are huge, so it's hard for me to tell you because a normal zucchini we wouldn't cut so many times. But I think about the size, like a centimeter or so, and that's probably a good place to start, a square centimeter. Or like if you thought about a dice, or a game, something like that, about that size. These are all, this is nice. I was worried that when it was so big it would have a lot of seeds in it, but it's fine. It's not like that at all. Sometimes when they get big, they get really seedy, but it is beautiful. Beautiful. Look at how much I have. Ha! Ridiculous. Like, think about that. We're gonna get, and that's a ton right there. Like, that would be enough for a recipe and a half of muffins plus our dinner. Holy Nina. You know what? You can make chocolate zucchini bread and chocolate zucchini muffins. And if you did that ahead of time for dessert, what a nice meal, right? Zucchini and the pasta, zucchini and the dessert. When your garden's giving it up, that'd be the time to do it. If you have to go out and buy the zucchini for this recipe, I think they're still probably in or around $1, $1.50 a pound. So if you've got 2 pounds, you'd be in ideal shape. So that said, you're looking at another $3. So this meal is still coming in well under our usual 15 mark. And if you've got a neighbor who still has a garden going, even better. Okay, we're adding it all to the pan. And my onion and garlic are nice and soft now, and that's really all I was trying to do. I'm just going to start pushing this in here. This is a lot. Way too much. I'm going to push it around a bit before I put the rest in. Can you imagine? Fantastic. We have so much here. And I think I should have gone the other way and used the big pot for my sauce. I might switch pots because we've got so much and I don't want to waste it, so we'll just make lots of sauce. I'm going to change pots. I could have done the pasta in that one and the sauce in this one. Oh well, all is good and well. I'm just going to put some fresh oil in this pot. Can you imagine? This is going to be great. I don't know why I was thinking, I was thinking normal zucchini. It's what I was thinking. I know that now. And I can just move this over here. And I'm going to dump it right over. I'm going to dump it over here where it doesn't make sizzly sounds if it falls. There we go. That looks great. This is, short of all of the shenanigans I've been up to here, this is such a nice, easy recipe. And we were going to talk about other veggies you could use. You kind of always need to, of course, start with onions and garlic as your base. But if you had, like really anything can go in here. If you had some, that's probably just about done. If you had, even cut up squash would be beautiful in this. And the squash are dirt cheap right now. Holy moly, you can buy squash for 70 cents a pound. Okay, my pasta is just another minute away from being done. I don't want to waste this. In she goes. In she goes. Okay. There. And our other mushrooms. This, there. You could use, gosh, you could throw some tomatoes in there. You can throw in whatever you want, really. You're going to do tomatoes safe until the very end when they're going to be mush. We'll give that one more stir since I added all that, and then I think we'll go ahead and start draining our pasta. That needs to cook for about just shy of 10 minutes. Okay, we're just looking to soften everything up, so we're not trying to do anything really except soften it up. We're cooking it long enough to get it so that it's, you don't have to cut it with a knife to eat it. That's all. As far as the pasta goes, before we drain it, we want to keep some of the water from cooking the pasta. We'll add it to our sauce. So, depending on, this is a giant pot, so I'm not even going to try, but sometimes I set the colander over my 4-cup measuring cup, and then I can just drain into it first to save some. not even going to try with this great big pot. Once I get pouring, I'm not going to try to tell myself, no, I've got this under control. Today is not a day of me being under control. I'm just going to scoop some water out to put in here. Think to yourself, you're going to want about a cup, maybe 2 cups. So just scoop it out. We'll get rid of that before I drop it back in the pot again. And I'm just doing this. That's going better than anything I've done. And I'm just shy of a cup here. We'll get a little bit more. And, oh, I scooped out an onion. Haha. We'll go a tiny bit more. I think I've got just shy of 2 cups there. That's going to be lots. And I don't need this. And look at this. Like, this is it. Like, this is such a nice meal. I peeled that garlic off camera earlier. I don't know if you noticed that, because I always rant about how much I don't like doing it. So I thought this time I won't make you listen. This, it's not overly moist. I'm going to drizzle a little bit more oil. Hard gauge because of how big this zucchini business is. Just did barely any, just a tiny bit. I'm going to make sure I've got my colander in the sink before I head over here. I do. Brilliant. And I've got my water saved. I know the handles on that pot are going to be warm. So, and that's warm. Just do that. There. Okay, this one's off. We're going to drain our pasta. We kept some of that water. And there she goes. I wish I'd been thinking about the pot and the sauce and everything ahead of time, because this is a heavy pot to drain like that. It really is. Hot. I did that. Oh my gosh, I need to stop. There we go. To get the last little bits. There. Okay. That. There. Now, this is just fine sitting here. We're going to add it to our sauce in a few minutes. It's going to be fine. We're just going to leave it alone, okay? I'm not thinking about that anymore. If you wanted to, if you're worried about these things, put the lid over it. There. Nothing can happen. Give this another little stir. Still a few more minutes, so I'm gonna go off camera and I'll come back when everything's softened up nicely, probably about 5 more minutes. Veggies are softened, and that's all you really want to do is just, check and see, could you stick a fork in it, right? And imagine eating it, and you're gonna know, you're gonna soften them to your taste. Next thing we're gonna do is add a little bit of wine. We want about 1/4 cup, so I'm just gonna pour in. Be careful when you pour in, okay, depending on the depth of your pot, it can kind of bubble up and stuff like that. I've got lots of room here, so I'm not worried. About 1/4 cup. And just pour that in there. And then we're gonna let that evaporate. Okay, we're just gonna let it do its thing in there for a minute. Set that to the side. This meal is almost done. Like, honestly, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even making it up. Give this a little stir, make sure everything got some wine on it. That's fantastic. I can smell the wine, which is what you want, because it's going to just, when you eat your pasta, it's just going to be a little background flavor, and it makes it a big deal, right? It stops it from being a kid's dish. It gives it an adult flavor, but just a little. And I'm still working on that same cheap bottle of cooking wine. We've only got a little bit left, though. I'm going to have to put that on the list. It's handy to have in the cupboard, right? Because you just add a little bit here and a little bit there. Next thing we're going to do is stir a little bit, and I think we've done this before. Add a little bit of flour or cornstarch to the pan, stir it around and coat the veggies. I'm using cornstarch because, as always, we'll be feeding this meal forward, and I'm just not sure. I thought, you know what, if I do this, then I'm just a little bit safer. And I'm going to do the equivalent of 2 tablespoons. And then I'll just give it a little push around to coat everything. And you can see that wine is bubbling away in there. That's just about great. Okay, beautiful. Oh, that's nice. It smells so good. If you could smell it, you'd be on board with me. You would be saying, my gosh, Mara, it smells good. Next thing we're gonna do is add cream. I've got a lot going on here, so I've got 2 cups, and that's what I asked for. I'm gonna peek and see. I feel like I might go another cup. Just down she goes. And I think, yeah, I'm gonna go at least 1 more cup of cream. I think I could double up. I've done a lot. I threw it off with my giant zucchini, right? And but it was fun. It's fun to use the giant zucchini. A friend of mine, her pumpkin, she put a pumpkin in, not the giant pumpkin content. Oh, look, it's exactly an extra cup. There, all done. And she didn't win the giant pumpkin, but she won another one. And isn't that fantastic? Her kids were happy, of course. In the air and fall fair. Okay. I'm just scraping some of the veggies that are on the sides of the pot down in. And fantastic. Now I've got somewhere to put that. No, oh my gosh. Holy dynamite. Stay. Wow. What a weird day for all these things to happen. I'm just checking here, but I think we are just about done. We're done that, we've done this, we've done that, we're happy. This is going. We're just gonna let that come up to a boil and start to thicken a little bit. That cornstarch that we put in will help it. Then we're gonna add 1/4 to 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. That's where we're gonna get our nice cheese flavor from. Once it's blended in, we'll start stirring in our pasta water and then return the pasta. Dinner's ready. At this point, if you haven't set the table, it's time. Like, we're almost ready. So, I've got salt and pepper out. I'm not sure we're gonna need more salt for this, but definitely some pepper on the table. Okay, if you've got a grinder, fresh ground would be even nicer. Even nicer. Let's see how it looks. Oh, it's lovely. Shannon, you want to come and see this? I know it's a long way down in here, but you can see how that's just coming together so nicely. And it's just starting to bubble in there. You can see a low boil in there. I'm pretty happy with that. Look, I got a little bit left. We're not going to waste it. There we go. And I know I can't trust that. Stay. Now it's going to make a liar out of me, right? Now, the next thing we're adding, we're going to stir this in, then our pasta water, and we'll return our pasta to the pot, and we're ready. Can you imagine? Like, what have we been, 20 minutes? I feel like hardly anything at all. This. Reduce the heat so that it's not going to keep boiling, okay? And then I'm going to get my spoon ready, dumping that in. There we go. Just get out of my way. Give it a stir through, just until you can't see the Parmesan anymore. And look at that. Holy dynamite. So nice. And now finally, our pasta water. In it goes. I'm doing the whole bit because we've got such a big pot here. And there. Give it a stir through. Beautiful. I don't trust that at all. If it was tipping out of the glass one, there's no way that plastic one's going to hold it. Just going to give it a little bit of heat, and then I'm going to carry the pasta over and dump it in. It's just like that. Depending, I may have to put my colander on top of this bowl, this pot that we had, so that I don't make a dribbly mess all the way across the kitchen. I could live without that. How about you? Messes in the kitchen. Somebody's got to clean them, and it doesn't need to be me. Give that a good stir. And we're going to dump our pasta in there. And now that it's going right into the sauce, even though it's got sticky while it was sitting, it's going to come apart beautifully. And there. And start giving it a stir through. Oh my gosh, you can see how nice this looks. I'm sure you can. Shannon's so good with the camera, and she's getting in there, and it looks so nice. So nice. Beautiful. I'm just going to let that heat for a second just to reheat the pasta a little bit. Call everyone to dinner. It's almost time. We'll set that just like that. I'm going to get a plate and show you how nice it's going to look. I can manage that. Not too hot. Right there. Okay, look at this. Fantastic. This fan, that. Everybody's off. That's off. Let's shut that fan off and hear ourselves think. There. Oh, what a relief. Let me grab a plate so I can serve this meal. We've had a busy, honestly, I think 20, 25 minutes. We've been busy for these few minutes, but it's done. If you do this meal, maybe you want to make a little side salad with it. Maybe you're into like some bread of some kind with your pasta. However you want to do it, anything goes. Even a side of some veggies would be lovely. Or just as we're doing, just as it is. Just going to give that. Oh, it's nice to turn the fan on. This looks so good, and doesn't it smell nice? Oh my gosh. If you could smell it right now, you'd be so happy. Well, you will be. You're gonna make this and you're gonna love it. Let me just start scooping some out. And you know what? I'm happy I did the red onion because it does show and it looks really nice. And we'll do that. This is a lot. And there. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's so nice. And we've got zucchini, mushroom, onion, garlic, pasta, cream. What a beautiful meal. So nice. I'm going to be feeding this forward to a family. We'll be heading out soon before it starts to thicken up. If you do have it start to thicken, if you have leftovers, just when you reheat it, add a little more cream, okay? Or and some butter, and just keep it going that way. I suggest serving it with some Parmesan and some freshly ground pepper at the table. Until I see you, we said it will be the 27th of October. We'll be doing the local food club kit that day. I don't know what it is. We'll be surprised together. In the meantime, take good care and bon appetit.